Hello grade 5 students, how are you? In this video we're going to explain a new lesson which talks about mixed numbers. So, as I told you, we're going to talk about mixed and improper fractions. First of all, we have three types of fractional numbers. The first type, which is the proper fraction, the second type, which is the improper fraction, and the third type, which is a mixed fraction. The proper fractions like 1 over 2, 3 over 8, 4 over 7, etc. It's actually when the numerator is smaller than the denominator. The improper fractions like 3 over 2, 6 over 5, 9 over 4, it's when the numerator is greater than the denominator. Mixed fractions like 1 and 1 over 2, 4 and 2 over 5, 2 and 3 over 4, etc. It's a whole number plus a proper fraction. So mixed numbers or improper fractions, we call them top heavy, where the top number is heavier than the bottom number. Every mixed fraction can be written as an improper fraction, and every improper fraction can be written as a mixed fraction. Like for example, 1 and 1 over 2, it's the same as 3 over 2. 1 and a half, it's like 3 over 2. But the 3 over 2, we call it top heavy. Look, 1 over 4, 1 over 4, 1 over 4, 1 over 4. So how many 1 over 4s do we have? 4. So it's the same as 4, 1 over 4, it's the same as 4 over 4, which is 1. 2 and 3 over 4, or 2 and 3/4, it's exactly the same as 1 plus 1 plus 3 over 4. So 1 over 4 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 4, which represents a 1, and also another 1 over 4 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 4. This is another 1 plus 3 over 4, which is 3/4. So 3/4 is 3 over 4. So if you can count them all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, it's the same as 11 over 4. Instead of representing them in boxes, we have an easy way for you. Look at these two numbers, the 2 and the 4. Multiply them. What's 2 times 4? It's 8. Add it with 3, it's 11. So it's 11 over 4. So instead of representing them in boxes, there is an easy way to do it. Just multiply those two numbers, then add it with the numerator. You're going to get the top number, and the denominator never changes. It stays the same. Look at here, we have 1 over 3 plus 1 over 3 plus 1 over 3. It's 3 over 3, which is 1, right? So suppose you have 2 and 1 over 3. The two wholes is 1 plus 1 plus 1 over 3. And every one, we can write it as a box of 3/3. Another box, because we have another 1, plus 1 over 3. So try to add them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 7 over 3. But instead of representing them in boxes, don't forget that you should multiply those two. What's 2 times 3? It's 6. Add it with 1, so it's 7. 7 over 3. So instead of representing them in boxes, that will be so long, just multiply those two, add it with the numerator, you're going to get the top number, and the denominator never changes. The last example, 1 over 5 plus 1 over 5. So if you have 5 1 over 5, it's the same as 1. So if you have 1 and 4 over 5, so the 1 plus 4 over 5. The 1, we will write it as a box of 5 1 over 5s plus 4 over 5, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you count them all, we have 9. But instead of counting them, just multiply. 1 times 5, it's 5. Plus 4, it's 9. So it's 9 over 5. So the steps are very easy. So instead of, I'm not going to count them all because you get the idea. So 2 and 2 over 7, I'm going to do it very fast. So instead of doing all these boxes, 2 times 7, it's 14, plus 2, it's 16 over 7. Now, what if I want to convert an improper fraction into a mixed number? It's very easy. So suppose I have 7 over 2 and I want to represent it as a mixed number. How many halves are there in a whole? So how many 1 over 2, how many 2 are there in 7? So 1 over 2, 1 over 2. Okay. How many wholes can I make out of 7 halves? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7 halves. Every 2 halves, they make 1. 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 wholes, but I still have 1 over 2 standing by itself. So it's 3 and 1 over 2. Okay? Another example. How many wholes I can make out of 7 halves? It's 3 wholes and 1 half left over. It's very easy, right? So what if I have 8 over 3? So you count, how many wholes can I make out of 8 thirds? 2 wholes and 2 thirds are left over. So it's very easy. Just try to divide 8 divided by 3. What's 8 divided by 3? You can make it if you want a side, as if you are doing 8 divided by 3. 3 times 2, it's 6. You subtract, so 2 are left over. So how many wholes did we get? 2. What's the remainder? You put it on the top. So it's 2 over. Let us take another example, 9 over 5. You can do it. 9 divided by 5. 5 times 1, it's 5. You subtract, and we have 4 as the remainder. So how many whole parts do we have? 1. And what's the remainder? 4 out of 5. Don't forget that the denominator never changes. Okay? So we have 1 whole and 4/5 are left over. 11 over 4, it's very easy. You can do 11 divided by 4. It's 4 times 2, which is 8. 11 minus 8, it's 3. So how many wholes do we have? 2. What's the remainder? It's 3 out of 4. So 2 wholes and 3 quarters are left over.